And I am live. I am a little bit late. I know that's one of my things that I'm never late, but you see, I work 12 hours overnight and, so I slept a little late. I'm not going to apologize. Even God overslept on the 7th. Yeah, I just compared myself to God. So what? Anyway, this is, of course, Blue Collar Game Day. I am your host, the General Steve Reisner. I am going to run this by myself today because I didn't expect to be up in time to do this show, and I hate asking people to come on last second. So start off before I get into the fun part of this. Saturday recap: Chiefs and Broncos. Broncos could have won that game. Probably should have been able to win that game. I mean, what a fluke fucking play that was at the end. That fucking fumble handoff. Vic Fangio got himself fired after the game, which is about a year too late. Whatever. Typical Denver move. We had the Cowboys and the Eagles. I don't understand. What is the NFL's obsession with putting the NFC East on in primetime television? The NFC East is what you all tell me the AFC East is. I can't understand. They keep putting the Eagles and Cowboys on in primetime. They keep putting NFC East games on in primetime. Nobody wants to see it. That was, of course, a blowout. The Cowboys' offense looked. I know they're playing backups. They looked as efficient as they've looked on offense in a few weeks. Shut up, Kenny. No one likes you. And you can't spell. So Ian Rappaport tweets right as I go on our next subject. Antonio Brown has had quite a week, according to Rappaport. He's set to have ankle surgery on January 18th now. I mean, this guy, this week has been just unreal. The way this week has gone, Antonio Brown's next course of action should be to write a book on how to lose a PR battle. Because he was absolutely smoking the Bucks in the PR battle right after the game. 2 days after the game, you're like, wow, Antonio Brown might have been in the right here. Wow, Bruce Arians sucks. And now you're like, Jesus Christ, Antonio Brown, shut your mouth. Yes, Kenny, I'm on roughly 2 hours and 15 minutes worth of sleep. I mean, he's going after Alex Guerrero. He's apparently sneaking OnlyFans models into his hotel room before the game. He's going after Brady. He's going after Gronk. This is one of my favorite things to watch. As I keep saying on Twitter in regards to the Antonio Brown situation, get your fucking popcorn because that one ain't slowing down. And if you're going to get your popcorn, you might as well get it at creationsnacks.com and use code BCMG for 20% off. That was an easy plug. That was fun. And let's go right to game picks. This is, of course, one of the weirder weeks to pick games because I can't remember who's fucking wrestling players and not. And once DraftKings app pulls up, I'll be there. All right, 102. The Washington football team, whose name changes to be announced to be the Admirals at some point. Woohoo! You know what I gotta say? Me and Sam from Source Podcast said on this show earlier this year that Washington is going to wait to change their name until after a scandal, until after another scandal comes out. Anyone think the railing falling apart against the Eagles after the game last week might have been that fucking scandal? We got but anyway, we got Washington Giants at 1:02 p.m. I wish I could not bet on either of these teams. But unfortunately, that's not how this works. I'm going to take Washington to win this game just because the Giants are historically dysfunctional. We got the Colts, Jaguars, 14-point spread. Yeah, the Colts are going to win that game. Probably going to cover 14. Jacksonville's only focus should be on not screwing up their head coach hiring, which they have plans to interview Bill O'Brien. So it appears they're going to screw up their head coach hiring. Got Bears and Vikings 102 again today. It's a 4-point spread in the Vikings' favor. There is talk that this could be Mike Zimmer's last game as the head coach of the Vikings. And what else is new? You guys say that every year. It just doesn't happen. Matt Nagy's last game as Chicago Bears head coach should have been sometime 2 years ago. He's still the coach. There is not any talk about if he's going to get fired or not. I'm going with, I think this is like the Marvin Lewis situation in Cincinnati. Matt Nagy has got dirt on the owners of Chicago. He's got that kid. He's got that owner with fucking naked pictures with somebody. And that's how he still got his job, is some good old-fashioned fucking blackmail. It's exactly what it is. Chicago fans, if you want any hope for your future, you got to get that piece. You got to get that evidence from Nagy. Otherwise, he's not going to get fired. The Bengals and the Browns. Baker Mayfield is out with surgery. I do not believe Joe Burrow is playing. Cincinnati's got nothing to play for, of course. They're already in the playoffs. Good for them. That's been a very good turnaround the last 2 years. I don't know what the fuck to pick in this game. I guess I'll take the Browns because I think the Browns are, the way the last few weeks have looked, I think the Browns are probably better with Case Keenum than they are with Baker Mayfield right now. I hope that surgery actually proves worthwhile. Packers and Lions. Yep, it's the NFC North again, a division that is exactly what you all tell me the AFC East is. It's only a 3-point spread. Yeah, the Packers will win this game. They better win this game. It's the fucking Lions. Carolina and Tampa Bay. Carolina has announced that Matt Rule will be back next season as their head coach. Whether or not he'll be comparing himself to Jay-Z next year remains to be seen. He will be losing today to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a 9.5-point spread. I think Tampa's going to cover that. I mean, Carolina, what, you even got any point winning the game? Ernest with the Lions pick. Are you just like stoned or something? It's kind of secret. Patriots and Dolphins today, 4:25. Of course, this is where most of my attention will be. The Patriots are winning this game. I know they always lose to Miami at the end of the year, and everyone's always worried. Oh, my God, they're going to lose to Miami at the end of the year. Oh, my God. And you're all out of your mind. They call us delusion. They've been dropped on your head a few times as a kid. Oh, Rodgers may be out. I actually didn't see that. I must have been focusing too heavily on my work last night. That would be a huge way to finish the season for Detroit. It would make me think a little differently of Dan Campbell, who I think is a bit of a tool bag, but I will say that the Lions fight. The Lions play hard, which they haven't done the last few years. As much as I can't stand Dan Campbell, and I know it's a cliche thing, he is the guy. He did this whole bite the kneecaps thing, and well, I haven't seen anyone got their kneecap bitten off, but I am holding out hope to see that. I haven't seen anyone get their kneecap bitten off, but I like the way Campbell's. They actually fight. They scrap a little bit. They still get their asses kicked because they're the Lions, but it's only so much you can do about that. The Patriots will win this game. The Dolphins, they won their 7 in a row. They had a good year. The Dolphins are not going to the playoffs this year. The Patriots are. I'm old enough to remember when the Patriots were going to finish third in the division this year and not make the playoffs because they really had to worry about that up-and-coming young Dolphins team. And anyone who told me I was an idiot, got anything to say now? No. There's a lot of people on all the shows I go on told me I was an idiot for thinking this. You're all quiet now, though. It's weird. Yeah. None of you seem to be anywhere. Remember, Patriots are going to finish third in the division. Third. They didn't have a chance. Not a chance. Couldn't make the playoffs either. Definitely were never going to make the playoffs. The Saints and the Falcons. Matt Ryan has other news this morning. Matt Ryan was fined for taunting for celebrating a touchdown that wasn't a touchdown. Fined $10,000 or something. First of all, this taunting rule is fucking ridiculous. Get this out of the league. Please get this out of the game. That's bullshit if guys can't celebrate scores. Get it out of the game. Second off, I think getting a 15-yard penalty on yes, exactly, Ernest. The Patriots they're not slowing down this week. They know they're already in. There was until last night with the there was still an outside chance at the division, but yeah, they're going to keep this team rolling. I think they slowed down after that bye week, and I don't think Belichick wants to risk that again. They're going to come out hot. They're going to beat up on the Dolphins. I could see this. I was going back and forth on this game. Please, God, I would love another 50 burger. 3 on the year? How many teams have even done that? Saints and Falcons, I really don't know where to go. I'm going to ride with you, Ernest. I'm going to take the Falcons. What I was saying is I think it's punishment enough for Matt Ryan to get a 15-yard penalty for celebrating a score that wasn't a score. I don't think he needed to be fined. And you're absolutely right. He's out of Atlanta this year. The quarterback carousel next year is going to be very interesting. I mean, Matt Ryan's going to be moving. Russell Wilson is on the move. I don't care what anyone tells me. There is no chance Russell Wilson stays in Seattle. I would not be surprised if Aaron Rodgers is on the move, of course. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what they're thinking about. Is what do the Cowboys do? We get the Seahawks and the Cardinals, 425. Yeah, this is Russell Wilson's last game as a Seahawk, and he's not going to win it because the Cardinals are just a better team. That's a 5-point spread. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win and cover that spread. I do not like what I've seen out of the Seahawks at all. Yeah, I agree with that, Ernest. I had Rodgers going to Denver this year until it started to look like he might stay here. Not here, in Green Bay. I think it's Russell Wilson to Denver. You just gotta get a good head coach hiring in now, because he wasn't going to come play for Vic Fangio. So yeah, I think that's Russell Denver. I think that's a great place for him. Denver they have plenty of pieces there. They just need a guy who can actually competently throw the football. I wouldn't. I watch back, but I don't know. I wouldn't put too much on that. He's done this a lot of times in his career when he comes back right for the playoffs and makes it this whole big star. I'm not knocking the guy, but he has done this. He comes back for the playoffs after missing a bunch of time. He puts a guy who admirably filled in for him back on the bench, and then he gets hurt in the first quarter. I'd keep an eye on J.J. Watt getting hurt again today. I'm not wishing injury upon anyone. This has happened before. 49ers and Rams. From everything I can gather, I believe Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be starting today for the Niners. He's got something up with his thumb. I forget what the fuck they said. Either way, Jimmy G, Trey Lance, they're not beating the Rams this year. Not right now. The Rams they're a better team. Rams are expecting to get Cam Akers back in a limited role, which is fucking very impressive to come back from ACL that fast. Also very risky. Whatever. We got the Jets and the Bills. Yeah. So I don't bet on the Jets. It's just a rule. Hey, Casey, good to have you back, man. Thanks for popping in again. Yeah, I rule of thumb. I don't take. I don't bet on the Jets. I would love the Jets to win this game. We had a Patriots fan say last week on Twitter, if the Jets beat the Bills, we will no longer disrespect the New York Jets. That's bullshit. I don't make promises I can't keep. I'm not making that promise. Last week when I said if Atlanta beat the Bills and I'd stop making 28-3 jokes, I meant that. I could have kept that promise. Stop, never disrespect the New York Jets again. What the hell? I'm not keeping that fucking promise. I don't even think I can keep that for the entire game today. 8:30 tonight. Chargers and Raiders. Classic Raiders season. Start out hot, fall apart again. The Jets did play great last week against the Bucs. I have to give them credit there. Of course, then they just got braided for fucking what, the 35th time, something like that. You don't even feel bad for him. You just laugh. Classic Raiders season, fall apart at the end of the year. Of course, there was a lot of drama over there this season. I'm going to take the Chargers to win that game. I think they're a better team. Last week, I thought was the game that the Chargers were going to lose because historically they lose that game. They didn't. They came out hot. They played good. I think they'll keep it rolling. Raiders are decent. Raiders will fight. I think their defense is god awful. I'm going to take the Chargers to win that. And I mean, I don't really do college football betting on here this often, but since the national championship is tomorrow, we have Georgia and Alabama. Alabama's going to win because Alabama wins national championships. That's just I haven't seen much of Georgia. I haven't really seen much of either team. I just bet on Alabama because it's fucking Alabama. Of course, I'd be remiss in my duties if I did not go into terrible Twitter takes. Right as I woke up about an hour ago, had this one from a Bengals fan talking about how the Bengals are primed to become the NFL's next dynasty because they have Burrow, Higgins, and Chase. And I said this earlier. Yeah, exactly. You can't bet against Alabama just like you can't bet on the Jets. It's science. I said this earlier. The Bengals have done a fantastic job turning around the last 2 years. The Joe Burrow pick at number one was a home run. The T. Higgins pick was a home run. Jamar Chase, I thought you should have taken Penny Sewell. Taking Jamar Chase was a fucking home run. Fantastic job over in Cincinnati drafting the last few years. Great job by Jack Taylor coaching. Me and Ernest talked about this last night. I think Joe Burrow is going to be special. I really do. Everyone likes to talk about what's the next quarterback rivalry. It's Burrow and it's Mac Jones. That's your next rivalry right there. No, I'm not biased at all. But saying they're going to be a dynasty, they're already poised to be a dynasty. They haven't even won a playoff game yet. They haven't even played in a playoff game yet. Oh, they can absolutely become one of the next great teams, and they still need pieces, of course. But I have a little rule. You can't say you're primed to be a dynasty until you've at least won one playoff game. Unless there's like some new definition of the word dynasty that nobody filled me in on. That's just that drives me crazy. I feel like people think that because the Patriots made it look so easy for 20 years that everyone just has a dynasty, and that's not really how this works. I do I can absolutely see them being a great regular season team. Which actually, my next terrible Twitter take was a Bengals fan saying how now they can't wait to play New England in the playoffs in the first round so they can drop 40 points on us. Now, the Bengals are good. The Bengals could very well beat New England in the playoffs. The thing is that they have a second year quarterback who just started his first full season, would be making his first ever playoff start. The young head coach who would be coaching in his first ever playoff game against the greatest defensive mind and greatest playoff coach in the history of the NFL, bar none, by a hilariously wide margin. Bill Belichick is both those things, the greatest defensive mind ever and the greatest playoff coach ever. If you tell me I'm wrong, then I'll slap you in the face for being stupid. That's look, and the Patriots have a great defense, and they're better up front. Saying that you're going to go, you want to play the Patriots because you think that's a favorable matchup for you. I'm not quite sure I don't really know if I can follow the logic on that one. And then naturally we go back to Dolphins fans. So the goal of this game today is to make the Patriots going to this offseason thinking that Mac Jones is the wrong guy for their franchise. Now, you think the Patriots are going to do what you guys have done with Tua every goddamn year since you drafted him? You think even if he has one bad game today when they've already clinched the playoffs, that the Patriots are going to turn around and be like, oh, damn, that kid with record-setting efficiency and 3,500 yards and 20 touchdowns as a rookie. Wow, he sucks. We really should move on from the best quarterback in the draft class by bar none that we took at 15th overall. Hey, come on, Dolphins fans. Oh, yes, and also Dolphins fans talking about the championship defense that they had this year. This is news to me. So the Dolphins are the first ever championship defense to go 8-8 in a year. Congratulations. You're not a championship caliber defense. You're not even in the fucking playoffs. God damn it, NFL fans piss me off on Twitter. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, folks. Get your picks in, get your bets in. I think all fantasy leagues are over by now, unless there's some weird ones that already kept up with the schedule. Sorry, I am fucking exhausted right now, so. But yeah, get your picks in. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Don't forget, this episode has been brought to you by glitchenergy.com. Use code BCMG for 25% off. I should probably go get some glitch energy in me right now to wake myself the fuck up. But of course, I'll be back next week. It will be fucking playoff time, the most wonderful time of the year. Let's go.